Hello, I'm Otto, and welcome to episode 41 of my Factorio Post Novice Guide. In the last episode, we kind of put together a little bit of a starter base. It was kind of, it's bot-based. I'm personally not a fan of bot-based, but early on, that's fine. I don't really care. Okay, and I know, not a fan of bot bases, despite the fact that our Fulgora base is, I don't know, almost exclusively bots. Just kidding. We do have a bus there. Anyways, moving along. So, yeah, you can see that we are not in the main world. We are in a test world. And that is because, okay, so in the last episode, I said that we were going to end up exploring the right-hand side and that we were eventually going to move the base over towards a quote-unquote better area. That kind of changed once I looked and saw how much landfill that I have after placing some miners and directly feeding into landfill assemblers. Yeah, we have lots and lots and lots of landfill. I did some rough calculations. We have plenty of space to work with now, so, well, not exactly now. We have to, place some of that landfill, but anyway, you get the idea. We're not starved for space as much as I thought we might be, thanks to some efficient mining. Anyways, so because of that, I had initially planned on kind of making some more builds once we got over there. And one of those builds is the farming, mining area that I have. I knew it was kind of temporary and I knew I wanted to make something better, but I was going to wait until we got over to the other side. Well, since we're not going to be moving and we're actually going to be having our base set up where our starter base is, now is the time, I guess, to make this little farming setup. So we're going to start doing that. And oh, before I even get into that, so I also want to take the opportunity in this mode. And the reason why I'm doing it here, not in the actual world, is because we are going to be... I didn't want to have a situation where, oh man, something messed up. It's distracting me. We have pentapods coming because something slowed up with the science or whatever. And we are going to have to probably fiddle with the science a little bit too, because the amount that we have and is just coming in is just it's so little and it's spoiling too fast. Anyways, we're gonna play around with that. Probably I think maybe the solution is we're gonna probably limit some of the belts to maybe have it back up a little bit instead of having everything go. Anyways, okay, I want to show off some concepts. This at least one major concept, something that we will be using. And let's see, I need one of these. This is going to be, let's just do, what can spoil fast? Nutrients. Yeah, let's do nutrients. Okay, so now this is permanently taking the nutrients away after creating them. Nice little handy setup for testing items. So generally, when you have a chest and you need to request in some items, it has to be stored somewhere, right? So that would look something like this. You might even say, okay, well, let's just limit this guy and say only enable if nutrients are less than 100. So that means that if there's less than 100 in this chest, this guy's going to pick up whatever he can, swing in here, put this in here. That's why there's an extra 5. It doesn't bring us exactly 100, but anyways, so now this, over time, let's go over time, is going to lose its freshness. If we're not using it, it will turn to spoilage. That is obviously a bad thing. We don't want to have that happen unless we need the spoilage, and there will probably be some situations that we will actually need to collect spoilage in the form of letting something spoil, and that would probably be nutrients. We will cross that bridge when we get there. But there will certainly be situations where I have to request in something and I need the freshest ingredients possible. So how are we going to solve this problem? Well, the way that I have come up with to solve this problem is we are going to take a setup like this. And I need to actually change this so I can showcase it a little bit better. We're going to do, let's just do jelly. That works. So I'm going to tell this enable if nutrients are less than Let's say 50. This one, I'm going to tell enable if nutrients are greater than or equal to 50. So we're going to take this, we're going to cut it. I'm going to force insert this in and actually put the... Hey. Oh, and we need a filter on that as well. Go me. Nah, that one doesn't need a filter, whatever. So now, once this one hits 50, you will see something pretty awesome happen here. This is all being destroyed. So this one brings this under 50 because it is enabling if it is equal to or greater than 50. This one, because this one is now less than 50, is enabling and putting it into the chest. The visual is that the belt is not moving at all. And if you look in here, you can see that the freshness of the nutrients is constantly refreshing up to 95-ish%, and it'll stay around 95%, assuming that the ingredients that are coming in on this line also stay as fresh, I guess. This will constantly refresh and refresh and refresh and refresh. Now, I am using a box generating this stuff completely fresh, so it won't necessarily be hovering around 94.5%, 95% or whatever it is. But either way, you still get the idea. And the main concept around this is that the only way this works is if the item that we are collecting is on the right-hand side of the belt. And the biggest reason, and not just on the right side of the belt, only on the right side of the belt. And the reason for that is largely this one. The inserters place items onto a belt on the right-hand side of the direction that they are traveling in. And this one is taking from this and opening up that slot for this one. If, for instance, this were to be nutrients and we did the exact same thing, you will see something different happen. The belt, the inserter on the left hand is kind of taking off of both sides of the belt and not allowing this guy to fully put his contents onto the right side. Now it's jammed up. So that is a concept that we need to be aware of going forward. I'm going to try to use that and try not to get it wrong going forward. Anytime we might need something, we only want to have it on one side of the belt. And, well, sorry, if we want to store something, we only want it on one side of the belt. And this is how we will be able to store things and keep them fresh. Okay, so moving along to, let me find a decent spot. Right here is still fine. So I want to remake this mining section. And actually before I do that, I'm going to make this a little bit easier on us and map out exactly where this grid is. There. Whoops, my bad. I just whacked my mic. Anyways, so the idea is I want to try to have a stampable solution that is snap to grid. I need it to have basically the same things that we have in the other one. I need it to be self-sufficient. I need it to be able to produce its own seeds. I need it to burn off any excess, and I need it to produce something over time that will then generate something for us to give us something on, like to put something onto our belts for us. So, the way that I'm going to manage that is, and I want it to have, I also want it to have a RoboPort because it will need RoboPort access to. And these are all going to have their own little grid. They have their own little electrical grid. They have their own little actual grid. The biggest downside of doing this in this way is that it's a lot more difficult to kind of determine like what it is that we need, what kind of items that we are going to be bringing in. Generally, when you ratio builds, you try to work with certain items per second, like for instance, coming in on a belt. So this belt will move 60 items per second. It will only move 30 items per second per side. So that's 30 items on one side, 30 items on the other side per second. If we're burning, let's say, half or more of all the materials that we have and using those to kind of give ourselves more seeds, it's a little random what materials we're actually going to be bringing in. And we will probably not have to deal with that. Like, it's just going to be one of those, if it feels like we have enough, we're good. If it feels like we don't have enough, we need some more. So, again, I want RoboPort access. I want self-sufficient. I want all the stuff that we had from the last time, but we are going to be setting this up a little bit different than we did before. So I'm going to start with 2 assemblers similar to the other one, and I'm going to offset both of them. Oh, and I also want to have as much of this grid usable as possible. So that means that I'm actually going to try to have most of this be down in this quadrant. There are going to be some areas where, unfortunately, we're just not going to be able to keep those sections. So, for instance, if you... Okay, you know what? This would be a lot easier if we were somewhere like... maybe not. I need a good place. I don't have a good place off the... Okay, well... Tell you what. Let's just landfill all of this. There. Now we can see a little bit better. And I guess I could have just done anyways. So these sections up here where the assembling machine is kind of invading, these are just not going to be usable. I can't remember if, like, if you look at this, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a 3x3, 9 tiles for each of these. And I don't remember if you're allowed to have 8 open and have 1 corner off. I suppose I could have tested all of this out beforehand, but I don't have any seeds. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's just get into the build. So let's call this, this is going to be our jelly build. And we will need to be bringing things out. And we will need to be putting seeds back in. Easy enough. That's the same thing that we did before. We will need a heating tower in between both of them. And we are going to need to put the jelly coming out of them back in. So let's filter this for jelly. We do not want to be tossing our seeds back in there. So he will take whatever we have coming in, and you know what? And I think I will get some seeds because we can. Right, no power. Speaking of power, our power pole is the only quality upgrade that we're gonna need for this. So it just doesn't work without a blue quality substation. I tried fiddling with it and tried to make it work without, but I tried other city blocks. I tried so many different things to make this work as intended, and this was the best option that I came up with. So you will need this. We do have better quality on Gleba in our main playthrough, but this is the only item that just kind of has to be like this, and that will help connect all of this together. So for the heating tower, we need a boiler. That's right, not a boiler, a heat exchanger. And to go with a heat exchanger, we need power. Really? And that is going to be that. So this is going to need to get some water in. And this is one situation where we are unfortunately going to have to invade one of the tiles that we kind of really don't want to. So we're going to have this come out to here. I want the pipe to go to the edge. And then on the other side, we will be doing the same thing. So that is how we're going to be getting in water. As for the materials that are coming out of here. We're going to do the same thing that we did before. I'm going to have this coming here. So we've already accepted that this tile here is no good. So we are going to allow this to carry on that way. And we are going to need some coming in. So that they can all kind of stack together. Anyways, so we are going to connect this and tell this to enable if the seeds that we need, which are the jelly nut seeds. And actually, here, let's just, so we can kind of see this in action, let's get some rocket fuel and get this guy heated up. So enable if seeds are greater than, we're going to do 15. I did 10 before, but we're going to do 15. After watching it, there's a little bit of randomness to it, and sometimes I got really close to running out of seeds. So we're going to do that. And that is going to be what we have coming out of here. So what happens if we get too many seeds? So if we get too many seeds, we are going to have these build up. They're going to stop working. Things are still going to be powered. They will not be able to empty jellies into the heat exchanger because they have seeds. So we need a way to kind of get rid of the seeds as well. So we're going to have an inserter here with a provider chest, and we're going to do the same thing over here. You're trying to use as much of the space as we possibly can. We're also going to take these inserters and connect them to the agriculture tower and filter them for the seeds that we want and tell them enable if the seeds are less than 10. No, not 10. No. Sorry. This one we're going to leave it. You know what? We're going to leave this one at greater than 10. This one I want to... No, that was right. If we have less than... Okay, sorry. If we have more than 15 output stuff going into our base, if we have less than 10... No, let's say if we have greater than... I can't imagine why this would build up any more than 20, but let's say that we had more than 20 seeds. Sure. So if there's more than 20, if there's more than 2 stacks in here, okay. You guys pulled my leg. We're going to do 25. All right. So if there's 2.5 stacks in here or more, then we will start dumping seeds into here. And this will kind of be like a battery, like storage, right? So this will kind of store any excess that we need. And speaking of excess, if we did need more, we need a way to get it in. So this tile is already compromised, so we can use this to request in those seeds. We're going to request in 10, but we're going to do something different too. So I'm going to actually, instead of connecting the inserter, I'm going to connect the chest to here until it enable if seeds are less than 10. Now if it goes under 10, this will activate request in 10 from whoever in the area has seeds. It will get the seeds and then bring this back up. And then once this goes over 10, this will turn out or turn off. There will be some extra seeds in here that will be allowed to go into here, and everything is good to go. That will get it over 15 and allow us to be putting back onto the belts that are going to be bringing stuff in for us. Okay, I do not need those. Actually, we're going to be removing all of these soon anyways. I just mostly needed the visuals of the grid. And obviously, because we have logistics, we need a roboport. Okay, I think that might be everything. We could also tell, like, I can't really see a situation where we would need to deal with any kind of spoilage, but if for some reason we did need to deal with spoilage, let's just go ahead and allow this guy to bring spoilage in. Here, do the same thing here. This guy can take spoilage and burn it. Yeah, and from there all we need is water coming in, which we can at least simulate. I did not put this on my bars. Let's just check and see. That is a no. This is not a usable space. I could have swore you could at least still plant. You can. Haha. That's funny. You can manually plant it, but it won't replant it. Yeah. Oh well. Okay, so that is the build we are going to use. Now we need to, one, make a blueprint out of it. And I did some testing earlier, so I did have some blueprints here. And we're going to make a blueprint out of, oh my gosh, my stuff is so unorganized right now. I've got a vacation coming up and I'm going to be organizing a lot more, so I'll have a bit more time on my hands. Anyways, so we need to make a blueprint out of this. We're going to Alt B. And we are going to snap this to grid. So I think it was, we're going to do 0, 0 as a baseline. I think I needed 22. And one of the reasons why is because, maybe it wasn't 22. This is not, like, this is kind of a 4x4 tile. No, this is a, wait, what? It should be a 3x3. Why is it so difficult to find the middle? Anyways, let's just see how it works. Okay, so as you can see, this lines up with our steam turbine. This one doesn't. So I've intentionally left this open. Whew. And on the upper side, I believe we have something similar, maybe not. Yes. So on the upper half, we do have 1 lane worth also coming in. Why did that not line up right? Did I not do the blueprint right? Yeah, I probably should have shifted it 1 more, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. Maybe it matters a little bit. No. Okay, whatever. It is not a big deal. Oh my gosh. Get that out of your hands. Okay. Okay, it is a big deal. I need to fix that. I think if we just remove this piece, that should be fine. Okay, so all these belts connect together. All the power poles connect together. We have a bit of a grid. We have bot connections between all of these. Everything is powered or connected by power together. Okay, and that is going to be our new little build for farming. And the way that'll end up working, let me just put this on my bars. We will find areas that it should kind of maybe work, so we can if we look at the map, we're looking for like the bright areas for now. So this is a bright area. We're kind of going to be looking for that. And unfortunately, there's no easy way to kind of tell where this stuff is going to end up going. So you can see that this one down here only has access to 6 tiles. Yeah, that's probably a bad thing. We're just going to remove all of his stuff. These, however, have access to much, much more. Way better. So that's kind of what we're aiming for. And we would probably only be able to fit 3 into this section. Yeah, there's a little bit of excess out here, but the blueprint that we have would not really work too well with that. Yeah, that would not be worth it at all. 2, 3 maybe? No, that doesn't work either. So that's going to be the hard part, but later on we will have better access to kind of better mining, and I can show that off too. Have this other one that we will eventually get that, yeah, everything in this little biome will be able to be upgraded. So that's one of the things that we're going to be working towards. Anyways, let's go back into, oh, no. We have the blueprint. We need to change it to also accommodate the other one. We're not going to parameterize it. We're just literally just going to change it. So we're going to just change everything from jelly nut to Yamako. That includes these seeds. That includes the conditions, the filters, jelly is now Yamako mash. I'm 100% going to miss something. Guaranteed. Always do. Always will. And this one here. Okay. And we're going to make a... Let's just make a copy of the other one. And update the blueprint for this one. Okay. Now let's go back into the world because we have a couple more things that we need to do. First off, first things first, we need to get Gleba going. Our science ship. He is not moving. Well, now he's moving. I don't think there was anything else with the ships that I needed to do, but I want to try to limit some of these too. So we have all of this empty belt, and that's because everything's being burned off. That was kind of intentional. I wanted to be collecting more seeds because seeds are what are going to carry us as far as we can manage pretty soon. Once we get to the point where we have too many seeds, then it's going to be fine. And we're probably going to basically take all of this here and double it up over here on this end. But for now, I do want these to back up just a little bit. So I'm going to tell this thing. That's the worst spot to do that in. We're going to do it here. I'm going to tell this belt. No. No, dude, that's it. Okay, read all belts. There we go. So enable, I want you to enable if Yamako is greater than, I don't know, a lot. Let's say 300. So that's going to prevent this from going. And that is not going to help us with the other one though. That seems to be the biggest problem that we have, so maybe that will help us out a little bit. That will help it back up, but if we get too much, then this will open up and allow these to continue on. What? I don't have any... Oh, I didn't add in modules to the blueprint. Oh well, that's not a big deal. Yeah, we can do that after we place it. Okay, you enable if Yamako is greater than 300. You enable if jelly nut is greater than 300. There, that should work. So now they're both allowed to go through if they have too much. Oh, this needs to be allowed to go. Oh my gosh, look at how bad. 43%? No way, dude. Alright, it's gonna take us, I don't know, half a year to get this epic quality going. Okay, so let's take down some of this stuff over here. Unfortunately, we're gonna kind of have to, like, reset our mining. Not a big deal. I need... Oh, yeah, that's... No. That's too much. If I put one of those in there, it would be such a waste. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so I need to tear these down and build them back up. I wish I could get rid of this soil. The soil that's already there. Oh, I feel so bad doing this because... reasons. Let's see where the other one's going to go first. So this one... This one was the Yamako. I don't like that it's hard to see through the power pole. But it is what it is. We have lots of space up here, though. I mean, what am I talking about? We have lots of space, period, for this one. Which is part of the reason why I wanted to stay over here. Alright. I know, and I have quality on all of these. I'm gonna actually upgrade the quality. Do I not have one for blue inserters? No! I don't have any. I've got some. It's like, where did my rocket fuel go? That is not a lot to start with. Okay, so I'm going to spend some time adding these back in. Obviously, you probably don't want to sit here and watch me do that. Just know that I promise I did do this. Anyways, that is going to be it for me for this episode. So we got another blueprint down. I will be adding... That's, you know what, that's also part of why I didn't add or make a blueprint for these other ones, was I was like, I don't think that I really want to, because I'm pretty sure we're going to be changing it, and here we are changing it. Okay, so in the next episode, we are going to start kind of planning out where our base is going to be. We have a bit of room back here with all of the landfill that we're collecting. Loads and loads of landfill. We have 20,000 landfill. Wow. Yeah, so we're going to start mapping this out. Unfortunately, it's probably going to go right through here, so the faster these guys can get rid of this, the better. It still might be a while, so we're going to have to work around them, unfortunately. Anyways, yeah, so we're going to start working on some of that. I will see you in the next episode, and thanks for watching.